Let's get straight into business. Last night, the New York Knicks make two big moves. Now, starting off with the OG Anunoby extension and then right into the NBA draft, Leon Rose, I'm calling him Trader Rose. That's my new nickname for Leon Rose because he keeps moving and grooving all across this draft. He trades out of the NBA draft while also securing Pacome out of France. I'm excited to break down Daddy and excited to break down OG Anunoby extending. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to Knicks fans all across the world right now. It has been a crazy last few weeks, or last few days rather, across this Knicks team. Starting off with 2 days ago, securing Bridges, okay? When the Knicks got Bridges, we all thought initially, okay, that means we most likely not going to be able to get both OG Anunoby and Isaiah Hartenstein back. Okay, that was the notion. That's what people assumed. I'm here to tell you guys there's still an opportunity for the Knicks to bring back not only just OG, which is official, and Isaiah Hartenstein. And that's what I want to focus on in today's show, guys. The Knicks extended OG Anunoby on a 5-year, $212.5 million contract, which was absolutely groundbreaking news. And it is really awesome that the Knicks got that deal done right before the NBA draft because we needed to make sure that us Knicks fans had some ease heading into the NBA draft. We don't need to worry about this OG Anunoby going to the Philadelphia 76ers or taking more money elsewhere, or he's really trying to drive up the price. There's a lot of speculation surrounding OG Anunoby if he's actually going to return with the Knicks or not. Well, guess what, folks? He's not going anywhere. OG Anunoby is officially a New York Knick for a long time, baby. Let's go. You see on your screen here, Adrian Wojnarowski tweeted yesterday, free agent forward OG Anunoby intends to sign a 5-year, $212.5 million contract in return to the New York Knicks. This is a deal that is a contract that is around $42.5 million annually, but there is some details with this contract that is more in, you want to break it down from the perspective that is a ascending contract. What does that mean? That the Knicks have an opportunity to still add talent for this upcoming season and the next season. OG Anunoby is getting paid the least amount this season, and then he's going to get paid more and more as his contract progresses, okay? That's how you got to look at this contract, and that is a really good job from these New York Knicks because you look at Jalen Brunson's contract, for example, it's the opposite, okay? Jalen Brunson's contract is a descending deal, meaning Jalen Brunson signed with the Knicks. He was getting paid $29 million in year one with the Knicks, $27 million in year two with the Knicks, which was this past season. And then this upcoming year, he's getting paid $3 million and then $21 million. So that's kind of the descending contract. But you look at this, with what Fred Katz has reported, this is what the details are for our guy, OG Anunoby, okay? So you look on your screen here, Fred Katz reported that this is the contract structure for OG Anunoby. This means the Knicks have some more wiggle room to get paid for this upcoming year. The 2024-25 season that's upcoming, he's getting paid $36.6 million. In next season, $39.6 million. In 2026, $42.5 million, and then it goes up to $45.4, and then finally $48.3. Now, there is a player option involved in this contract that we do have to keep in mind, but as of right now, this is what it looks like for these New York Knicks to secure OG Anunoby for the long run, okay? So that's why it is very good. I love this deal because there's a lot of confusion around the first apron. Are the Knicks going to be the first apron, the second apron? Basically, what Leon Rose is trying to pull off and Brock Eiler is trying to pull off is an opportunity to secure Isaiah Hartenstein. Now, the ball is in Isaiah Hartenstein's court, folks. The ball is in Isaiah Hartenstein's court because the Knicks are doing everything they possibly can to free up enough money to secure him for the long haul. And let me tell you guys this. I'm pretty sure there is a path for the Knicks to bring back Isaiah Hartenstein without having to trade Mitchell Robinson. Isn't that wild? There is a path here for that. Now, they still have a lot of creativity to do. We have the second round of the NBA draft today, okay? And the Knicks, what they did last night in the NBA draft is the reason what I'm talking about. Let's not forget what the Knicks did into the 2022 NBA draft. That was the offseason where the Knicks signed Jalen Brunson, right? What the Knicks did in that draft, we had the 11th overall pick. Leon Rose traded out of the 11th overall pick, traded away Kemba Walker, which freed up money. And at the time, we're like, what? The Knicks just traded away Kemba Walker and freed up money for what? It was for Jalen Brunson. And that's what you need to realize, that Leon Rose's philosophy with these Knicks as the president is to move around the NBA draft. Right now, Knicks fans need to realize that the time of drafting a rookie and having him be the face of the team is over. That's no more. We do not have a team that can play rookies meaningful minutes. But Combe Daddier, I'm here to tell you guys, the Frenchman, the wing, the 6'8", 6'9", 18-year-old, he's not playing this year. Could he? Yes, he very well could. I don't want to say that for certain. There's a chance the Knicks stash him, but Combe Daddier spoke with the media at the press conference after getting drafted last night, and he said he expects to play in the NBA. Now, the Knicks can absolutely have him on the Knicks roster this upcoming year. He would be off the bench. More importantly, not off the bench. He will not be getting minutes. I think he'll be in Westchester and playing for the G League, and a guy that the Knicks can develop for the long run, or they stash him. So there's two options for the Knicks that they can approach Combe Daddier. I think that draft pick was enticing. I don't think any Knicks fan had him on our radar, and that's something that the Knicks have to realize. So the Knicks extending OG Anunoby really opens up an opportunity here to be aggressive for Isaiah Hartenstein, because the ball is in Isaiah Hartenstein's court, folks. It's in his court. Do you want to build something special with these Knicks to go after a title and take less money, or are you going to chase the bag, Isaiah Hartenstein? Which one will it be? Which one will it be, Isaiah Hartenstein? Because OG Anunoby signing this contract really puts this Knicks team on the map to be a title contender. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. The Knicks are the second or third favorites to win it all next year, folks. Can you imagine that? This is the first year in my life as a Knicks fan that I can say with a straight face the Knicks have a chance to win an NBA title. They are favorites to win the title. Now, the Celtics will be the favorite. The Nuggets are the next favorite, but the Knicks are the third highest betting favorite. I think the odds are like plus 750. And it's because you need an elite wing in the NBA in today's league. Well, guess what, folks? We have two, and they're Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby. And those two players are not even the best players on our team. That's the thing here. It's not like Bridges and Anunoby are the face of the Knicks, and that's all we have. That's not the case. Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle are the two faces. Those are our two all-stars. What the Knicks are doing here is we have our two all-stars in Brunson and Randle, and we're supporting them with the best cast you can possibly imagine. Two elite wing defenders, and they're all really good. They're both excellent on the offensive end as well. Not to mention Dante DiVincenzo. You see what he did last year, breaking all of the Knicks franchise records? Josh Hart being the heart and soul of this entire Knicks team in the playoffs last season, hustling for every rebound, pushing the pace, playing defense. You still got Big Mitch. And now if Isaiah Hartenstein comes back, bro, watch out. I have been making videos all throughout this offseason. And what I've been saying is simple. The Knicks just got to run it back, and we will be fine. But the Knicks had other plans. They wanted to not only run it back with the same squad, but they wanted to make one slight adjustment, it seems. And that's what I'm really reading into this Leon Rose situation. They wanted to make one slight adjustment. You know what the adjustment was of the roster? One little tweak that maybe not be 100% running it back. It's trading Bojan Bogdanovic and replacing him with Bridges. What? You're telling me that there's a chance that we can run it back with the same exact squad as last year, but you're replacing a Bojan Bogdanovic with the Bridges? That's ridiculous. Now, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I don't want to jump for joy and just assume that Isaiah Hartenstein is back with the Knicks, because he's not. Okay, he's not back with the Knicks. But there's a chance here. And that's what I'm trying to say. Brock Aller deserves a lot of credit, because this is a guy who is the Knicks cap specialist, okay? He is the guy that has been in Leon Rose's ear, that has been able to figure all this out. He is the cap wizard, okay? Brock Aller is a guy that was hired, and I think that this is something that we need to realize. The NBA is very complicated regarding the cap space, regarding the first apron, the second apron, the tax, all these different things. They're confusing. They are. For the normal fan, it's a confusing thing. But the good news is we have an expert who is in Leon Rose's brain. And there may be a small little path here that the Knicks have to go down in order to afford Hartenstein without trading away Robinson. Because I can guarantee you this. The Knicks are trying their best to re-sign Hartenstein without having to trade Mitchell Robinson. That's the best case scenario. Because if you can do that, then we are officially running it back with the same exact team. Okay? That's what would be ridiculous. Can you imagine having Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson back with this team? Because then that protects the Knicks of, okay, well, we don't need to rely on Mitchell Robinson as much because he'd be probably coming off the bench. I know that he's injury prone and we still need Big Mitch, but Hartenstein returning is everything. Now, if we trade Mitch and re-sign Hartenstein, then we're going to have to find another big man. But the Knicks have today in the second round to fill out the bench, and they also could figure out a way to get some veteran minimum contracts as well. So there's so many different scenarios the Knicks can go down. And based off of everything that we're seeing on Knicks Twitter, based off all the moves that they've been making, the Knicks have been really aggressive of figuring out their compensation. So the Knicks right now are trying to become a second apron team instead of a first apron team. And that is how they can afford Hartenstein. Now, I got to give a big shout out to Jeremy Cohen on Knicks Twitter. He's a contributor for Knicks Film School and the Strickland. And he has been breaking it all down for what it really means for all this stuff. It's complicated, but I want to break it down for you guys real quick, okay? I want to break it down for you guys real quick. Shout out to Jeremy Cohen for breaking this down. It is confusing, but let's break this down together. Let's break this down together. So here is the graphic on the screen. You guys can see it right here. Okay, so this is with the potential of Hartenstein coming back. So you see OG Anunoby's projected salary for this upcoming season is $36.6 million. Julius Randle right behind him at $28.9. Brunson's at $24.9. Bridges, $23.3 million. Josh Hart, $18. And then he is putting Hartenstein at a $16 cap hit. This is a hypothetical contract that he put out there. So the Knicks can sign Hartenstein for maybe one of those deals where he gets paid $16 this year, $18 next year, $20 the year after, and then $22. It can be an ascending deal. That's how they can get this done. Okay? This is also including Pacome Dadier at $2.7 million. So this puts the Knicks with $430,000 of space to get into that second apron. So shout out to Jeremy Cohen, who's done a tremendous job breaking this down for us Knicks fans, because it is confusing to figure this out. But the idea that the Knicks are figuring this out is really, really awesome. Like, this is ridiculous. You go back into what we saw last night, okay? Let's go back into what we saw last night from the Knicks during the NBA draft. We're on the clock at pick 24. I knew the Knicks are trading one of these picks. It's just a matter of which one will it be. Well, the Knicks decided to trade pick 24. They moved back from 24, and they moved 2 slots to 26. What do they get in return? They get pick number 51, which will be picked later today in the second round. So the Knicks basically slid back 2 spots to get an extra second-round pick in this year's draft. And then, let's not forget, the Knicks already had their own pick at 25. So after trading pick 24, the New York Knicks are on the clock at pick 25. They draft Pacome Daddier from France. Okay, the 18-year-old, 6'8", 6'9", off-ball wing who definitely has a lot of upside. He's not really the greatest defensive player. He is raw. I don't know. That's why I don't see him getting any minutes, especially this season as an 18-year-old that does not really have a good defensive repertoire like we'd expect from a player that gets minutes under Tom Thibodeau. But what he does have is an offensive ability. He can put the ball on the floor. He can stretch the floor. He can hit step-back threes. He has a high shot. Okay, so he definitely has upside here, Pacome Daddier. But me personally, I'm not expecting Pacome Daddier to play, especially this season. Okay, even if he's on the roster, I expect him to be rotational and getting minutes off in the G League. Okay, so the Knicks make their selection at pick number 25, and it was Pacome Daddier. And then the Knicks are on the clock again at pick 26. And what do they do with that 26th pick? They trade it to the Oklahoma City Thunder for 5 future second-round picks. Now, some people may think, okay, why do we want 5 second-round picks? They're valuable. Now, the reason why this is a good move is because the Knicks traded for Bridges and gave up a haul. Everybody's clowning the Knicks like, oh, the Knicks gave up way too much. The Knicks gave up way too much for Bridges. Now, you know what? Those people may be right. Okay? The Knicks did give up a lot for Bridges. But the good thing about this, and the reason why the Knicks could afford paying that price, is because Leon Rose has stockpiled assets to be able to overpay for a player. The Brooklyn Nets would have never sent Bridges to the Knicks unless we overpaid. And the Knicks did that. And it was so worth it. So the Knicks are trying to recoup some assets. Getting 5 future second-round picks, you could package that for another trade down the line. That's what Leon Rose is trying to do. And it also, more importantly, frees up money. That's what we need to really break down. The Knicks freed up money last night. That is what you need to realize and what the whole idea with this move, okay? So Ian Begley tweeted this out, okay? This is what Ian Begley tweeted last night, and this is something that Knicks fans need to realize about what the whole situation here. So Ian Begley from SNY tweeted this out yesterday. He said, by trading out of pick number 26 and stashing Pacome Daddier and replacing those picks by rostering 2 second-round picks on rookie minimum, Knicks could save a total of roughly $3 million in team salary for 24-25. Not clear if Daddier will be stashed just yet. So that is a breakdown of what the Knicks could be doing with this whole situation. Now, again, we don't know if Daddier will get stashed yet, but it's pretty obvious what the Knicks are doing. They see a small path for the Knicks to re-sign Isaiah Hartenstein. And this is what they're trying to do. Now, again, I don't want it to make it seem like it's a guarantee now, like, oh, the Knicks are getting Hartenstein back. No, that's not the case, because Hartenstein is the one that has to agree to take a lot less money with the Knicks. Because let's be honest with ourselves, there is going to be offers all across the NBA when he hits the open market on Sunday at 6 p.m. EST. The Oklahoma City Thunder are going to offer Hartenstein a bag. The Orlando Magic, 2 teams that are coming off a playoff experience, that are both young and have a lot of cap space and feel like Hartenstein could be the missing piece to their puzzle. Just like Hartenstein could be the missing piece to our puzzle to complete a real championship roster. So if you're Isaiah Hartenstein, do you want to take less money to go for a title, or do you want to take more money with an opportunity to be competitive? Because let's be honest, if he takes more money and goes to the Thunder, it's not like he's just going to get paid and be irrelevant. The Thunder were the first seed in the West last year. If he goes to the Orlando Magic, the Magic were a playoff team, the 5th seed last year. So I can see it both ways. As a selfish Knicks fan, I want Hartenstein to stay. We need Hartenstein to stay more than anything else. And I think that the Knicks are maneuvering this draft to make sure that Hartenstein can stay. Because the Knicks extending OG Anunoby for the contract that they did, locking him up for 5 years at that price, having Jalen Brunson potentially sign that extension, which we have to see if he actually does it or not. This is setting this Knicks team up. I don't want to use this word because it's definitely a big word, but like there is a potential here for a dynasty. And what I mean by a dynasty, and listen, there's no dynasty without championships. Let me just say that first. The Knicks haven't even gone to an Eastern Conference Finals, so I don't want to make it seem like the Knicks, I'm putting the Knicks in the dynasty conversation yet. I'm giving them a potential. And what I mean by that is there's a 3-year, 4-year window where all these players on the Knicks are not going anywhere. More importantly, there's a 2-year window. There's nobody on this Knicks roster that is a pending free agent after this season. Julius Randle's under contract for 2 more years. Brunson's under contract for 2 more years. Josh Hart, 3 years. DiVincenzo, 3 years. Bridges, 2 years. Mitchell Robinson, 2 years. Okay? Deuce McBride locked up long-term for pennies. Anunoby, 5 years. My point is, there's nobody on this Knicks team that is going to leave us in free agency next year. So there's a window here. There's a window. But the Knicks have some decisions to make regarding extensions and all that stuff. Because Jalen Brunson, he's eligible for a contract extension. And that's a fact. Will he take his extension this summer? Because if he does, that is going to help out this Knicks team immensely, bro. I cannot describe how much a huge contract would help out. A Jalen Brunson extension. Now, speaking of Julius Randle, I do have to correct myself a little bit. Now, Randle has 2 years left on his deal, but he does have a player option next year. So what that means is Randle could opt out and go into free agency after this year. Whether that will be a, try to extend Julius Randle if you're the Knicks or just renegotiate an extension, or just opting out to get a bigger contract. But it'd be pretty interesting to see Randle not opt out, because you look at the contract structure, he has a $30.9 million contract next year in the 25-26 season, and Randle would have to make a decision of opting in or opting out of that. So everything I just said stands, but Randle's the only one that could be out next year. Okay? So the Knicks have decisions to make. Will they extend Randle? Will they extend Brunson? Will they extend Hartenstein? We already saw them extend OG Anunoby, which is a big, big move. And now we have to make sure that the Knicks go all in and get Isaiah Hartenstein back. But at the end of the day, folks, the ball is in Hartenstein's court. The Knicks are doing everything in their power. But I will say this. The Knicks moving this way, I don't want to get ahead of myself. Hear me out. The Knicks moving the way that they're moving last night in the draft, freeing up money in order to afford Hartenstein, that's telling me that they know Hartenstein wants to come back. Would you not agree? That the moves the Knicks are making is kind of telling me, hey, if the Knicks are really trying their best to open up money for Hartenstein, don't you think that they have some type of intel by now that Hartenstein verbally agreed to a contract and the Knicks are just trying to figure out a way to fit it right now? That's my optimistic perspective. Or this is a Knicks way to just open up money and then hope Hartenstein will take the deal. I'm not too sure. That's really what it comes down to. And there's so many different ways that the Knicks can go right now from a contract perspective with Isaiah Hartenstein. But at the end of the day, folks, the Knicks are doing everything in their power to bring Hartenstein back and load up this roster to be one of the best teams in the entire NBA this upcoming year. And as of right now, I think we are. On paper, is there a team that can stack up with this Knicks team better than anybody else besides the Boston Celtics? Seriously. What team in the NBA besides the Boston Celtics has the type of talent that we have on this roster? What team in the NBA has 2 elite wing defenders, 2 elite wing players like the New York Knicks? Does anybody? Okay? Like, what the Knicks are building here is special. What the New York Knicks are building here is different. They are building their roster to compete and contend with the Boston Celtics, and they cannot forget about the Philadelphia 76ers, though. Because the Sixers As of right now, I'm not afraid of them, but they still got Joel Embiid. And the reason why I say that is Mitchell Robinson was a big reason for that, round 1 victory. Okay? So that's why things are getting interesting right now. The Knicks extended OG Anunoby, and they're looking to extend Isaiah Hartenstein, even though they already traded for Mikal Bridges. And I want to go back into my first point of this entire show. You're telling me, I was consistent all offseason, the Knicks don't need to do anything other than re-sign OG and Hartenstein and run this team back. But you're going to tell me that Leon Rose is going to figure out a way to run it back with the same exact roster as last year, but make one change, and that's replacing Bogdanovich with Bridges? That is a championship move, because we were this close from the Eastern Conference Finals without Julius Randle, without Mitchell Robinson, without Bogdanovich, and without OG Anunoby, and even without a fully healthy Brunson and Josh Hart. So can you imagine what a fully healthy Knicks team with a starting lineup that consists of Brunson, Bridges, Anunoby, Randle, and Hartenstein, with a bench that consists of Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, Deuce McBride, and Mitchell Robinson? Can you name me a better 9-man rotation in the NBA besides the Boston Celtics? Like, that is loaded, okay? That is dynamic. That is with defense, with shooting, with chemistry, more importantly. This is something special, Knicks fans, and we have waited a long time for this moment, and Knicks fans everywhere should be on cloud 9. And I'm excited to see the next 2 players the Knicks bring in. Will they even draft 2 players in the second round? Will they trade out of those picks? Who knows? Who knows? Now, the Knicks definitely have to have a backup plan if Isaiah Hartenstein does not come back. I'm not too sure what that backup plan is yet. You know, they've been linked to a lot of free agent centers. Andre Drummond. You know, there's a lot of guys out there that the Knicks can target from a free agency standpoint. Goga Bitadze from Orlando, the 24-year-old from Orlando, could be a guy that the Knicks get on a cheap contract to provide depth at that spot. There's a lot of options the Knicks can go down. But me personally, I'm holding out hope. I'm holding out optimism that the Knicks will just bring back our guy, Isaiah Hartenstein. And it seems like Hartenstein wants to come back with the Knicks. It seems like the Knicks want him back, and they're doing everything possible. They're getting creative. They see the cap, and they know that there's one small sliver of an opportunity to do what they got to do, and they're figuring out a way to do it. This is craziness. The Knicks are locking and loading up for a championship run. And the way that you build a championship roster is depth, because you have to be prepared for injuries. Let's not forget what a big hire the Knicks made, actually. We cannot forget about this. The Knicks made a big hire as well in this offseason, and that's getting Casey Smith, I believe, is his name, who is the new director of medicine for the Knicks, coming from Dallas. Okay? This is big. The Knicks getting a new director of medicine is going to come here. Yes, Casey Smith, who is a longtime athletic trainer for both the Dallas Mavericks and USA Basketball. He's the new vice president of sports medicine for the New York Knicks. Obviously, we need some type of help regarding the Knicks' health from a player standpoint. We have to stay healthy. That's 100% true. We need to stay healthy as a Knicks team if we want to go as far as we want. But with a healthy Brunson and a healthy Josh Hart, a healthy Dante, a healthy Bridges, who's never missed a game his entire life, going back to high school, by the way, mixed in with a brand new addition of Bridges and OG Anunoby, those 2 wing players in the court is going to be so much fun to watch. And then the dynamic duo of the 1-2 punch, the big boys down low, Isaiah Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson. It's just ridiculous, man, what Leon Rose is doing. Now, again, I do not want to make it seem like the Knicks are officially re-signing Isaiah Hartenstein, because that's not for certain yet. But you could tell that the Knicks are trying their best to bring him back. So, folks, that's going to wrap up the show here. I appreciate you guys big time tuning into another show on Knicks Media. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name is Richie. Don't forget to follow me here. I appreciate all the love. Let's go, Knicks. We have 2 picks in the second round, pick 38 and pick 51. we shall see where the Knicks go from there. Salute to Knicks Nation. This is a great time to be a Knicks fan. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I will catch you guys in the next show. Peace and love, and let's go Knicks. Peace.